no deal or big deal. We've done this, last week, Anthony Bennett and, Shabazz Muhammad. He's only played 20 minutes all season. He's only been in 4 games. I mean, the former Bishop Gorman Gale, and I know this kind of hits home with some of the viewers. He was the number 1 player in the country his sophomore year, his junior year, and all the way up to New Orleans Noel reclassified in late December. And then he was the number 2 player in the country. I mean, he was the McDonald's MVP, Parade All-American. I mean, you want to talk about a guy, who just dominated the high school basketball level. I mean, we talk about how Anthony Bennett's bad.
Yeah.
But at least Anthony Bennett, he was getting in the games. I mean, he wasn't doing nothing.
Definitely.
But, I mean, Shabazz isn't even good enough to get on the T-Wolves. And, I mean, the Timberwolves are trying to fight for a playoff spot right now. I mean, I'm sure they could use this kid if he was, producing.
Yeah, and that's the problem it falls down to, and I do kind of find it as a big deal. And the reason why is, I mean, if you watch Shabazz Muhammad as I did in college, his lone freshman year in college, he didn't play up to the hype as what he was supposed to, I believe.
He was too busy wearing Gucci backpacks.
Yeah, and he didn't know how to keep his name out of trouble, and he just always seemed to find a way to not be impressive to me. And then when it came to his draft stock, we looked at him as he was going to be one of the top 10 picks. He was a lottery pick.
Yeah,
and he fell to number 15. And the reason
14,
why is
14.
Number 14. Okay, and the reason why is because he doesn't have discipline. He got kicked out of the rookie camp.
Yep.
He has to do it again next year.
You're at the camp for 2 days. You can't just not text a girl. Like, you got to bring a girl in your room. Like, I mean, they don't have, pay-per-view. I don't understand that one.
Again. And
I'm sorry, we went a little X-rated on this, but you got pay-per-view, you got to bring a girl. I mean, how are you going to get kicked out of the rookie camp?
Right. Again, it doesn't make any sense to me. And again, you look at him, and you mentioned how he dominated in high school basketball. Again, he was playing with people that weren't up to his talent. Now that he's finally reached...
No, he was playing with kids that were younger than him. That's
another thing.
That's what it was. You know, I know a lot of things go unlooked at Gorman, and I love Gorman, a former Gale for a year myself, We dedicated a page to you guys on our roster, but I mean, a lot of things go unlooked with Gorman with the NIA. But how did you not know that Shabazz Muhammad was really 19 as a senior? I don't understand that. I mean, I knew that back in middle school that he got held back a year. How do you not know that? How does that not come out coincidentally until 3 weeks before the draft? Right. And I mean, my father's reading this story and he goes, "You were right." And I go, "Of course I'm right. I know what I'm talking about. What do you think? I was just going to make this up? Like, Shabazz is really a year older than everybody else?" I mean, he was dominating in competition. He was supposed to be a college freshman, playing against seniors. And I mean, he dominated the AAU circuit. So, I mean, we can't really say that he was just dominating lesser competition.
Right.
But,
because those are some of the most talented kids across the country in the AAU circuits here. But
he's a problem child.
Yes, definitely. Again, it goes back. He lacks a lot. He lacks in discipline.
Let's get suspended the first couple of games of the season because I want to wear a Gucci backpack.
Yeah, and again, he's only played 20 minutes all season. There's a reason why he's not playing. And again,
you can't just rock the Buzz Lightyear like everybody else.
No, you can't.
I don't understand that. You got to wear Gucci. You got to wear a $1,000 Gucci backpack and draw eyes.
Some players just don't know how to keep their names out of the media's mouth, and that's a problem for him. And again, you look at him, and it's just, again, we go back. Like I was saying, he was playing against lesser talent when he was in high school because he was older, like you said. Well, now that he's in the NBA,
you're playing against men.
Karma's catching up to him, and this is a big boys game. You got to put on your big boy pants and actually play ball.
You know what? I know he's only played 20 minutes for the Timberwolves in the NBA, but summer league, man, he was terrible.
Yeah,
you're going against other rookies. You're going against undrafted rookies, and they're dogging you. Like, I mean, I don't understand it.
That's exactly
why
it's
it just
a big
mental
deal.
With him? I mean, has his confidence been broken? I mean, I saw him last year, like you mentioned. I mean, he looked lackluster at times at UCLA, but I mean, I saw him in the tournament. He looked decent.
And he definitely did. As the year went on for UCLA, he definitely did step it up.
Right.
As the year progressed, but it wasn't as impressive as it should have been to me.
I mean, character issues. And, I mean, I don't want to question the kid's work ethic. I mean, I watched him at Gorman. I mean, I know former teammates. I mean, they all say he's got a high motor. But, I mean, what really stood out for me on draft night is with the number 12 pick, the Oklahoma Thunder are going to pick Steven Adams, an unproven center, over Shabazz Muhammad, which everybody likes to call a poor man's James Harden. I mean, you got absolutely nothing in that James Harden trade, and you're going to pass up on Shabazz Muhammad? That just throws out red flags.
Well, yeah, definitely. When good teams that could use a piece like Shabazz pass up on him, that obviously tells you why he's falling like that. And again, it does go back to character issues. He has no self-control over himself yet. And I hope, and I pray for this kid for him to get better as his NBA career goes along. Because the kid, I mean, he's Vegas talent. It'd be great to see somebody from Vegas do something and become a great. We're trying to find somebody like that for Vegas to make a name for all these Vegas athletes out here that definitely do try and go to D1 schools and do make it into the pros.
Right.
But none of them come out and say, hey, man, this guy really stood out.
Hey, Anthony Bennett, I mean, I'm telling you, in a couple, you say it's a big deal, I say it's no deal. I mean, that's going to come out. But if we're going to stick on Shabazz Muhammad before we get you out of here, folks, it's not a big deal. It's not at all.
We'll see.
It's a huge deal. It's like the Mount Rushmore of deals. This is ridiculous. I mean, you only play 20 minutes, 4 games. I mean, you can't even get off the bench for Rick Adelman. All right, you look like garbage. I mean,
He's one of the top coaches in the NBA.
Right.
So
but
if
I'm
you
just
can't
saying,
get off the bench for him, then you're gonna have a tough issue getting off the bench.
Las
anyway.
Vegas Sun has posted articles about how you're just completely dogging it in summer league. I mean, you were supposed to be the next Kobe. That's what everybody compared him to in high school, and I said, don't believe the hype. He's a good player.
That's a big comparison, and that could
he's supposed to be the next Kobe. I mean, he can score. He can flat out score.
Definitely, and we've seen it. But
I think it's just a confidence thing.
I think when you tell somebody they're the next Kobe, that's going to play with their mind a little bit.
I think it's just a confidence thing. I mean,
they don't live up to it right away. Of course.
Who's managing this kid again? I mean, a year older on his birth certificate. I mean, I'm not going to question any family values, but I mean, who's managing this kid? I mean, this is the extra point. We never leave the topic uncovered. This is uncensored. Mount Rushmore deals. I mean, this is the statue. If Statue of Liberty was a deal, it would be Shabazz Muhammad.
I don't know if I can call it that big of a deal, and the reason why is the reason why is because you couldn't tell me that you didn't see something like this coming for him.
I didn't.
I wouldn't say the 20 minutes part.
I mean, you got DraftNet Express his senior year in high school and his freshman year in high school, projecting him as the number 1 or number 2 player or taking overall.
And I see that. And
then you go number 14, and then you can't even get off the bench.
But
and
you
it's like, what are you doing?
Well, you watched him, and that's his own fault, and you've seen it. And the reason why it doesn't surprise me, not that the fact that it's 20 minutes, but the fact that he's not getting on the court as much as most people would hope to see him get on there. And again, it goes back to his character issues, his lack of morality, his ethics. I mean, the kid just has to get his head on tight if he really wants to turn into something. And it's not a Mount Rushmore big of a deal.
No, it is.
And the reason why is because, again, how many games deep are we into the NBA season right now?
He's only played in 4, though.
Okay, that's still a lot of time left for this
You're
kid's
supposed
career.
to be the next great scorer. You're supposed to be a poor man's James Harden at least.
How many kids come out of the NBA draft right
You know
away
what?
and start starting though? Right in the
Dion
starting.
Waiters for the Cavaliers averaged 10 points. Bradley Beal last year for the Wizards averaged 13
and you
points.
also
and everybody said that Shabazz Muhammad was supposed to be better than him.
What about Damian Lillard last
coming
year
out of
from
nowhere.
Portland? Yes. I mean, you see kids like that, but you also see these big name prospects come out and not do anything. And it's not the first time it's happened. So you can't really hold your breath on these type of kids, especially when they slip out of the top 10 out of a lottery pick and they go 14th, 15th down the line. I mean, you kind of look at him and you're like, well, I mean, let's see how his career goes now because he's fallen off for a reason. It's not like it wasn't a no-brainer and he fell off just because, people weren't interested in him. Of course those top 10 teams were interested in him. They had to have been. The way the kid plays, the way his game goes, he's got a great shot. He's a good player. It's just
I don't understand what's going on with him.
He's got some loose screws that he's got to tighten.
I mean, before we get the viewers out of here, I just want to let you know, Shabazz, it's going to be a lot more expensive for you to go back to the rookie camp for those 2 days and to order a pay-per-view.
All right.
Hey, I'm just saying. Stop being a knucklehead. Get your game right. You were supposed. I mean, look, I'm a Shabazz Muhammad fan.
Oh, I couldn't agree.
I was at Gorman when he was there. The kid was unbelievable. I mean, number 1 player in the country for a reason. I mean, like I said, it's a Mount Rushmore deal. I hope he can get his head on straight, and
that's when it becomes a Mount Rushmore deal is when he can't get his head on straight, and we've just realized that.
I mean, is he going to be a bust? I mean, you're talking high school. He's supposed to be an all-star. I mean, nobody ever said he was going to be an MVP.
It's tough to be a bust at the number 14th pick overall. I mean, it is the first time.
He slid all the way. He was supposed to be number 1 pick.
Yes, definitely, and he slid. Well, once we got to that point, I mean, number 1 overall pick, definitely.
I thought he was going to be top 10 for sure.
Definitely. I mean,
I thought that there was no way he could get past Oklahoma at 12. That would be a dream spot. And you know what? They didn't even want him.
And, again,
Utah didn't even want him.
The points are red flags.
I mean, we got a crowd full of Mormons. We can't have this kid around here.
Definitely, and that's you can't take him into the Mormon state.
No.
Definitely couldn't last there.
I mean, I know Trey Burke hasn't played yet, so I mean, it's kind of hard to judge that trade, but. Hey, let's see what Trey Burke does. Maybe they got the better.
Well, I mean, T-Wolves are looking to move Derek Williams.
Oh, and they already moved him to the Kings.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did move him to the Kings.
Mabute.
That's right.
Talk about a bust.
Interesting trade.
Hey, I wish he was from Las Vegas. We were talking about his career.
Who? Mbute?
No, Williams.
Oh, Williams. Yeah. Oh man, coming out of Arizona like that, it's pretty tough, man. He was number 7 overall pick, or no, number two. Number two.
I guess it's just something in the Pac-12
Where's
water.
number 7? It's not good, Waddy.
No, it's not good.